Every year in Texas, roughly 950 people are bitten by venomous snakes. 10 species of rattlesnake live in this state, along with copperheads, cottonmouths, and coral snakes, and Texans grow up learning to watch the ground for all of them. And out of all those bites, the state averages 1 to 2 snake deaths a year. Meanwhile, something else in Texas kills 17 people annually, and almost nobody in the state is afraid of it at all. We will get to that. Because Texas is not one landscape, it is 5. Desert in the west, hill country in the middle, piney woods and swamp in the east, subtropical brush along the border, and 400 miles of Gulf Coast. Almost no other state holds that much different country, which means almost no other state holds this many different things that can hurt you. Rattlesnakes in the rocks, alligators in the bayous, sharks in the surf, scorpions in the butte, and a predator in the hill country that most Texans believe was wiped out a century ago. Today we are counting down 13 dangerous animals hiding across Texas that locals have quietly agreed not to think about, ranked not by which one is deadliest on paper, but by how completely the people sharing ground with them have trained themselves to look right past them. And by the time we reach number 1, you will understand that the deadliest animal in Texas is not the one everyone watches for. It is the one nobody watches for at all. If this is the kind of thing that keeps your mind turning after dark, subscribe now. It takes 2 seconds. And tell me one thing in the comments. What part of Texas are you watching from? I want to see how far these reach. Now let us get into it. Number 13, the striped bark scorpion. We start in the butte by the back door. The striped bark scorpion is found across almost the entire state, and unlike most scorpions, it climbs, which means it does not stay on the ground where you might expect it. It gets into walls, into attics, into folded laundry, into shoes left on the porch, into the sleeping bag rolled out on the ground. Here is the denial. Texans treat the scorpion as an annoyance, a fact of life, something you shake out of a boot without much thought. The sting is intensely painful, but rarely medically serious for a healthy adult, which is exactly why nobody fears it. But it is one of the few dangerous animals in this state that will come inside your house and get into the clothes you are about to put on. Number 13 belongs to the animal Texans have completely normalized finding in their own beds. Number 12, the kissing bug. Now to the danger almost nobody in Texas has heard of, and the one that should worry them more than it does. The kissing bug is a flat, dark insect that feeds on blood at night, and it earns its name from the habit of biting people around the face and mouth while they sleep. The bite itself is not the problem. What the insect can carry is. Kissing bugs can transmit the parasite that causes Chagas disease, an infection that often produces almost no symptoms at first, then can quietly damage the heart over years or decades. Texas is one of the states where these insects are established, and infected bugs have been documented here repeatedly. The denial is total because a bug that gives you a heart condition 20 years later does not register as a threat at all. Number 12 goes to the insect whose damage arrives so late that almost nobody connects it to the bite. Number 11, the black widow. Now to the woodpile in the garage. The black widow is glossy black with a red hourglass on its abdomen, and it lives across Texas in exactly the places people store things. The stack of firewood, the shed, the meter box, the underside of patio furniture that sat out all season. Its venom is a neurotoxin, and drop it is far stronger than a rattlesnake's. The denial is that people reach into these spaces without looking, hundreds of times a year. A hand into the woodpile, a foot into a stored boot, a grab under the deck for a lost ball. The widow is not aggressive and would rather flee, which keeps it low here, but a bite delivers severe muscle cramping, nausea, and difficulty breathing, and it is most dangerous to the very young and the very old. Number 11 belongs to the spider in the dark corners Texas hands reach into on autopilot. The coral snake. Now to the most venomous snake in the state, which almost never hurts anyone. The Texas coral snake carries a neurotoxic venom that works directly on the nervous system, more potent than that of any rattlesnake here. It is banded in red, yellow, and black, and generations of Texans have learned the rhyme, red touches, yellow kills a fellow, to tell it from its harmless mimics. The denial is the beauty. The colors look like something manufactured, a toy or a bracelet, and a hand reaches down before the brain finishes the thought. Bites are genuinely rare because the snake is shy, secretive, and small-mouthed, which is the only reason it sits at number 10. But its venom is the kind that can leave a person feeling fine for hours before serious trouble begins. Number 10 goes to the deadliest venom in Texas, wrapped in the prettiest package. Number 9, the feral hog. Now out to the brush country and the farmland to the animal Texas has completely failed to control. Feral hogs number in the millions across the state, and a big boar stands 3 feet at the shoulder and can weigh up to 400 pounds, armored in thick gristle with tusks that curve up out of the jaw. They travel in groups, they destroy crops and pasture overnight, and Texas has opened year-round hunting on them in an attempt to slow a population that keeps growing anyway. The denial is that people file them under farm problem, but a cornered or startled hog is one of the very few animals in Texas that will not run. It will charge and it will use those tusks, and it does so at dawn and dusk when hunters, hikers, and ranch hands are out in the same brush. Number 9 belongs to the 400-pound animal the state cannot get rid of and mostly refuses to fear. Number 8, the bull shark. Now to the Gulf Coast, and the animal that will not stay in the ocean where it belongs. The bull shark is among the most aggressive sharks on Earth, and it can regulate the salt in its own body, which lets it swim out of the Gulf and up into the bays, the passes, the river mouths, and well up Texas rivers. Females reach 11 feet and several hundred pounds, and they prefer exactly the warm, shallow, murky water where people wade and fish. The denial is disbelief, and it has some cover. From 1911 to 2022, Texas recorded 43 confirmed unprovoked shark attacks, which across more than a century is genuinely rare. So the whole coast relaxes, but rare is not absent. And the animal doing most of that work is a shark that treats the boundary between salt and fresh water as though it were never drawn. Number 8 goes to the predator swimming up rivers in a state that has decided sharks are an ocean problem. Number 7, the copperhead. We are right at the halfway mark, and if you are still here, you are clearly someone who actually wants to know what is out there. So hit subscribe if you have not yet, because from here the list stops being something you can walk away from. The copperhead is the snake Texans are most likely to actually meet. It lives in the wooded areas of the central and eastern parts of the state, usually near water, and its coppery hourglass banding makes it nearly invisible against dead leaves. It does not rattle, it does not flee. Its entire strategy is to freeze and trust its camouflage, which means people step directly beside it or on it without ever knowing it was there. The denial is that Texans watch for the dramatic snake, the rattler with its warning, and never the quiet one underfoot in the yard. Copperhead bites are rarely fatal, which is exactly why this sits at number 7, but it accounts for a large share of the state's venomous bites, and nearly all of them happen in ordinary places, gardens, woodpiles, the edge of the lawn. Number 7 belongs to the invisible snake in the leaf litter nobody looks down for. Number 6, the timber rattlesnake. Now to East Texas, and to a rattlesnake that is genuinely different from the rest. The timber rattlesnake, known in this part of the state as the canebrake rattler, is a large, heavy snake of the piney woods and river bottoms, and it carries something no other rattlesnake in Texas does in the same way. It possesses 2 distinct types of venom at once. One is neurotoxic, attacking the nervous system. The other is hemotoxic, destroying blood and tissue. That combination makes a canebrake bite one of the most serious envenomations in the state. The denial is regional. West Texans watch for diamondbacks in the rocks, but East Texas is green, humid, wooded country that feels nothing like snake country, and people walk it in shorts and low shoes. Number 6 goes to the piney woods rattler, carrying 2 kinds of venom in the same bite. Number 5, the American alligator. Now to the eastern third of the state, where Texas stops being western at all. Alligators live across East Texas in the bayous, marshes, rivers, and reservoirs, and they get big here, animals reaching 14 feet and passing 1,000 pounds. An alligator is an ambush hunter that can hold motionless at the surface for hours, indistinguishable from a floating log, and then move faster than a person can react. The denial is that most Texans picture their state as dry as rattlesnakes and mesquite and open range, and cannot fit an apex aquatic predator into that picture at all. Meanwhile, East Texas is full of them, in the water behind the houses, the boat ramps, the fishing spots. Attacks are uncommon and usually follow people feeding them, which is why it sits at number 5. Number 5 belongs to the 1,000-pound predator hiding in the half of Texas nobody pictures. Number 4, the western diamondback rattlesnake. Now to the animal on the state's postcards, and the one that actually bites the most people. The western diamondback is the most common and widespread rattlesnake in Texas, a heavy-bodied snake of the deserts, plains, rocky uplands, and brush country. And it is not shy. Compared with other rattlers, it is easily excitable and quick to stand its ground, and it may be responsible for more snakebite deaths than any other snake in the United States. The denial is confidence. Texans believe they know this animal, that they would hear the rattle, that they would see it coming. But a diamondback lying still in the shade of a rock or under a mesquite is nearly invisible until movement gives it away, and it does not always rattle before it strikes. It is the single most likely serious envenomation in the state. Number 4 goes to the snake every Texan thinks they can handle. Number 3, the mountain lion. Now to the animal most Texans believe is a story. Mountain lions live in Texas in real breeding populations, primarily through the Trans-Pecos, the southern brush country, and the hill country, and they are the largest wildcat in the state, weighing up to 150 pounds and capable of taking down a full-grown deer. Sightings have been increasing, including in suburban areas. The denial is the past tense. The big cat gets discussed in Texas the way ghosts do, something Grandpa saw once, something from the old days, an animal that surely got wiped out along with the wolves. Attacks on people are extremely rare, which is exactly why it sits at number 3 rather than higher. But an apex predator large enough to kill a deer is moving silently through hill country that people hike, camp, and increasingly live in, and most of them have no idea it is there. Number 3 belongs to the ghost cat Texas buried before it was gone. Number 2, the red imported fire ant. Before we reach number 1, we come to the animal beneath your feet almost everywhere in this state. Fire ants cover Texas in mounds across lawns, pastures, ball fields, and roadsides, and they are among the very few animals here that attack with no provocation whatsoever. Disturb a mound and thousands pour out in a coordinated wave, gripping the skin and stinging repeatedly. And here is why they sit this high. Fire ants are counted among the animals that actually kill people in Texas, ahead of the rattlesnakes everyone fears, because their venom can trigger fatal anaphylaxis, and because a person who cannot get away fast, a small child, someone elderly, someone who falls, can be covered in seconds. The denial is the size. It is an ant, so nobody looks down. Number 2 belongs to the insect that outranks every snake in this state and gets a fraction of the fear. Number 1, the white-tailed deer. Stay with me because this is the honest answer, and it is the number that reframes the entire list. The deadliest animal in Texas is not the rattlesnake, the gator, the shark, or the lion. It is the deer. Texas has more than twice as many vehicle collisions with animals as any other state, over 5,000 every year, and those crashes kill around 17 people annually. Compare that with the 1 to 2 deaths a year from venomous snakebite, out of some 950 bites. The animal that kills the most Texans has no venom, no teeth worth mentioning, no aggression, and no interest in people at all. It simply steps into a road at dusk. And that is the thread through all 13. Every animal on this list is dangerous in proportion to how little we think about it. We watch the ground for rattlesnakes and step right past the fire ant mound. We fear the shark in the Gulf and drive the farm road at dusk with the radio on. Texas has trained itself to fear the animals with fangs because fangs are a danger the mind knows how to picture, and to feel absolutely nothing about the brown animal standing at the edge of the headlights. We did not stop seeing these animals because they hid. The scorpion in the boot, the copperhead in the leaves, the lion in the hill country, the deer on the shoulder of the road, they were all here the whole time, and looking at them honestly would mean admitting that the danger is not out in the wild country. It is in the yard, in the house, and on the drive home. So here's what to carry with you out there. Everything is bigger in Texas, including the gap between what people are afraid of and what actually gets them. If this is the kind of thing that keeps your mind turning after dark, subscribe and stay with the channel. And tell me in the comments, what part of Texas are you watching from, and what is the closest thing on this list to your own back door?